After months of intense fighting, Russian forces attempted a breakthrough, pushing the city of Pokrovsk to the brink of collapse. Russian infiltration units encircled the city, threatening to sever Ukraine's critical supply lines in the Donetsk region. However, Ukraine mounted a fierce counteroffensive, employing effective search and destroy tactics, not only defending Pokrovsk, but also repelling Russian forces, recapturing key strategic areas, and significantly undermining Moscow's ambitions. The tide turned dramatically. With sharp search and destroy operations, Ukraine brought the fight onto Russian-held territory, liberating Pokrovsk. Russian forces, organized to seize the city, crumbled under the strength of the Ukrainian armed forces. According to the Kyiv Post on August 17, Ukrainian defenders secured a series of critical victories in Donetsk over the weekend, marking a turning point in the conflict. A standout achievement was the complete expulsion of Russian forces from Pokrovsk. Earlier, since early July, Ukraine had reclaimed key settlements like Zhelanin, Orlivka, and Mykolaiivka, which served as Russian staging points for attacks. While Russian President Vladimir Putin appeared in Alaska alongside US President Donald Trump to discuss Moscow's vision for peace, Ukraine decisively shaped the battlefield's outcome. Any strategic advantage Russia once held in Donetsk has now evaporated, with Russian forces pushed into a passive defensive posture. Russia's summer offensive, aimed at controlling all of Donetsk, ended in complete failure. How did the situation shift so dramatically? Pokrovsk, a pivotal city in Ukraine's conflict, was the focal point. Since Putin shifted focus to capturing Donetsk in early 2024, controlling Pokrovsk became his top priority, with plans to use the city as a springboard for deeper advances into Ukrainian territory. Pokrovsk's significance is clear. According to Euronews on September 10, 2024, as attacks on Pokrovsk intensified, the city served as Ukraine's vital logistics hub in Donetsk. Its strategic location and developed infrastructure made Pokrovsk not only a command center, but also a critical logistics node, enabling Ukraine to sustain its defensive strength on the Eastern Front. Pokrovsk stands as a cornerstone of Ukraine's Eastern Front. Its geographic position makes it a key logistics hub, facilitating the supply of food, equipment, ammunition, and weapons, from AK-74 assault rifles to 6-inch shells for D-20 howitzers. Located near Ukraine's deep rear, Pokrovsk offers both advantages and challenges. It serves as a distribution hub, allowing Ukraine to rapidly deploy troops, ammunition, and equipment like T-64BV tanks weighing 46.5 tons with a 5-inch main gun to defensive lines, countering relentless Russian assaults and artillery barrages on Pokrovsk and nearby settlements like Novogradivka and Seladov. For Russia, Pokrovsk holds immense strategic and symbolic value. Capturing it would severely disrupt Ukraine's supply chain in Donetsk, forcing Ukrainian units to rely on longer, more vulnerable routes for resupply. Losing Pokrovsk would expose Ukrainian forces dependent on transport vehicles like KAMAZ 5350 trucks with a 6.6-ton payload, to ambushes or artillery strikes from Russian Grad multiple rocket launchers with a 12 to 25-mile range, slowing their battlefield response. Time is a decisive factor in warfare. A single day's delay can lead to the loss of a critical defensive position. That's the scenario Russia aimed to create by targeting Pokrovsk. Beyond its strategic value, the city carries significant symbolic weight for Moscow. According to Reuters on July 23, Russian media dubbed Pokrovsk the gateway to Donetsk, as it lies just 12 miles from the Donetsk administrative border. a line Russia must cross to claim control of the region, as it did in Luhansk in 2022. Seizing Pokrovsk would give Putin a strong hand in peace negotiations, bolstering claims that Donetsk belongs to Russia. Currently, Russia controls about 70% of Donetsk, with cities like Bakhmut and Avdiivka already under its grip. From Pokrovsk, Russia could deploy mechanized units using T-90M tanks and BMP-3 armored vehicles to push north toward fortress cities like Slavyansk and Kramatorsk. If those fall, Russia could shift focus to central Ukraine, inching closer to Kyiv, roughly 370 miles away. On July 22, the Kyiv Independent reported that Russian forces breached Ukraine's defenses and entered Pokrovsk outskirts. An unnamed Ukrainian soldier confirmed the report, though it remained unclear if Russia established fixed positions. According to the Deep State Analysis Group, Russia achieved a breakthrough by attacking from Zverova village, using infantry units supported by two S-19 Mista-S self-propelled artillery and BTR-80 armored vehicles, with a top speed of 50 miles per hour. Russia captured settlements like Progress and Vozdvizhenka as footholds, exerting constant pressure on Ukraine's defensive lines. Ukraine swiftly launched a search and destroy campaign in response. Per Deep State, Russian units attempting to fortify positions in the city were decimated by Ukrainian counterattacks using D-30 artillery and 120mm mortars. Other Russian groups remained under relentless pursuit by Ukrainian forces. Despite Russia's incursion into Pokrovsk, they failed to gain full control, with Ukraine's defenses holding firm, bolstered by T-84 Oplot tanks. Russia's breach into the city and intense fighting marked a critical moment. Although Ukraine halted Russia's advance in July, the breakthrough exposed a defensive vulnerability. Russia, employing Putin's familiar tactics, typically reinforces weak points to widen gaps. This time, Ukraine's fierce response shifted the momentum. Russian forces were stalled at choke points, unable to deploy large formations, with their infantry suffering heavy losses from Ukrainian artillery and Bayraktar TB2 drones, with a 186-mile operational range. Caught off guard by Ukraine's robust response, Russia shifted to infiltration tactics, deploying small groups of 5 to 10 soldiers to penetrate Pokrovsk. These units avoided direct assaults, focusing on sabotaging infrastructure like power stations, bridges, and supply depots to weaken Ukraine's defenses. However, these efforts failed. Russia relied heavily on inexperienced troops, many freshly mobilized from its 110,000-strong summer campaign. By August 15th, Ukraine's 7th Airborne Corps, supported by DSK heavy machine guns and M777 howitzers, eliminated these sabotage groups, restoring control over Pokrovsk's entry and exit routes. On August 17, Pokrovsk's liberation was complete. Ukraine's General Staff announced via telegram that no Russian infiltration units or soldiers remained in the city. Russian forces were pushed back to their initial positions, now at a greater disadvantage. The 19th Corps, operating in Donetsk, captured 6 Russian soldiers in 24 hours, while the 7th Airborne Corps and allied units, using Javelin missile systems with a 1.5-mile range, neutralized remaining enemy groups. Ukraine's defenses were reinforced with fortified positions and Kozak II armored vehicles weighing 15.4 tons. The defeat at Pokrovsk dealt a severe blow to Putin's ambitions. The city, once seemingly within Russia's grasp, was reclaimed by Ukraine in a stunning turnaround. Russia not only lost Pokrovsk, but was also driven out of nearby settlements. From August 4 to 16, Ukrainian forces, including the 1st Azov Corps and National Guard, liberated areas like Pruska, Rybizne, Novovediana, Petrovka, Visali, Zoloty, and Kolodias, using coordinated infantry, artillery, and FPV kamikaze drones with a 6-mile range. Ukraine's counteroffensive was a sustained effort lasting over 2 weeks, aimed at retaking settlements around Pokrovsk and fully expelling Russian forces from the city. Ukraine's tactics mirrored Russia's approach, encircling infiltration groups and cutting off their supply lines. By recapturing areas like Novogrodivka and Hrodivka, Ukraine closed the gaps Russia exploited, isolating and destroying Russian units with firepower from Krab self-propelled artillery and 2B-11 mortars. According to Ukraine's General Staff, Russia's losses from August 4th to 16 were staggering. 910 soldiers killed, 335 wounded, and 37 captured, totaling 1,282 casualties in 12 days, averaging 106 per day. Ukraine also destroyed 8 T-72B3 tanks with 5-inch guns, 6 BTR-82A armored vehicles with 30mm cannons, 1 BM-21 Grad rocket system, 18 artillery pieces, 103 vehicles and motorcycles, and 91 Orlan 10 drones with a 373-mile range. These losses underscored the collapse of Russia's summer campaign at Pokrovsk. Ukraine's victory hinged on the use of ground drones equipped with machine guns. According to Euromaidan Press on August 16, Ukraine's 93rd Mechanized Brigade confirmed deploying ground robot systems like the Ratel-S drone, with a 77-pound payload and 15-mile-per-hour speed, fitted with PKM machine guns. These drones approached Russian positions and attacked directly, proving a game-changer in countering Russia's numerical advantage. Controlled remotely via radio or fiber optic signals, they ensured the safety of Ukrainian troops. Ground drones not only aided logistics, but also replaced soldiers in high-risk missions, such as attacking fortified Russian positions, minimizing casualties. Supported by reconnaissance units using Lelika 100 drones with a 31-mile range and artillery, Ukraine's search and destroy tactics proved highly effective. While Russia relied on sheer numbers, Ukraine leveraged advanced technology, including Stugna P missile systems with a 3-mile range, to shift the battlefield dynamics at Pokrovsk. Though Pokrovsk has been liberated, stabilization efforts continue to secure the area. Ukrainian units, including the 47th Mechanized Brigade and 12th Azov Corps, conduct patrols and build new fortifications using IMR-2 engineering vehicles, weighing 55 tons. Russia may be preparing for another assault, but with ground drones and search and destroy tactics, Ukraine stands ready. The defeat at Pokrovsk proves Russia no longer holds the dominance Putin claims, while Ukraine conducts deep strikes into Russian territory using A-22 drones with a 621-mile range to destroy enemy military and logistics facilities. The victory at Pokrovsk is not just a military triumph, but a powerful morale boost for Ukraine. Defending the city strengthened confidence in the Ukrainian armed forces' ability to resist and counterattack, while shaking Russia's ambitions in Donetsk. Through advanced technology, flexible tactics, and unwavering resolve, Ukraine demonstrated it can confront a numerically superior foe. As Russia faces heavy losses in personnel and equipment, Ukraine is steadily regaining the initiative, offering hope for a peaceful and stable future. The battle for Pokrovsk is a lesson in resilience and innovative military tactics. Ukraine not only safeguarded a strategic city, but also sent a clear message that Russia cannot easily achieve its objectives. With modern weapon systems, from ground drones to combat UAVs, and tight coordination among forces, Ukraine is rewriting the narrative of the conflict, steadily pushing back Russian forces and defending its territory.